Well, Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker is hoping the city of Boston can get some closure now after the Geoffrey Tsarnaev case, but a lengthy appeals process and a delay of his execution is likely the next phase of this saga. Joining me now is Boston criminal defense attorney Geoffrey Nathan. And Geoffrey, before we talk about that appeals process, I wanted to get your take walking around Boston this weekend. Of course, there were some major news events, including this biker brawl and the kill capture mission of this ISIS leader. But what was this sentiment of the folks in Boston this weekend following the death penalty conviction?
Well, from my unofficial count, I can just tell you in the general community, there's a sense of relief and that the justice was done in regards to this matter, that he had a fair trial. He may not have had a perfect trial, but it was executed by the judge very well. And when he hands down sentence, it'll be the death penalty, and this town will move forward from here.
All right, so we got a long appeals process, but I want to listen quickly to something Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz said. We had him on Newsmax TV immediately after the verdict was reached on Friday. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
A case that, if any case ever deserved the death penalty, this case does. I mean, the planning, the idea of putting bombs next to children knowing you're going to kill them, I have no sympathy whatsoever for Tsarnaev.
All right, I think a lot of folks can make that case. If there was ever a reason why we have the death penalty in this country, it is because of this case. But take us through what this appeals process is going to look like. How long is it going to take? And what is the defense's next move here?
Oh, okay. Well, remember, just going back to what the professor said, I in some senses, I said at the time I agreed, but I disagree with what he said. But anyway, moving forward,
well, go ahead. Tell us why you disagree.
This is going to be a sentencing hearing. Tsarnaev has the right to say to the judge that he doesn't want to be put to death and ask the judge to take that part of the verdict away. The sentence of death has to be imposed by the judge, and for whatever reason, he might decide, no, I think that death would be too good for this defendant. I want to give him life without the possibility of parole in a supermax facility, and he could carve out some way to do that. That being said, if he does impose the sentence as the jury required, it goes to the next level up. It goes to the United States Appeals Court, and they can look at the United States guidelines, the sentencing guidelines, and make a determination whether they were accurately imposed in regards to this case. And if they weren't, they can send it back to this sentencing judge, O'Toole, for reconsideration.
Well, Geoffrey, let me stop you there and get your take on why you disagree with Professor Dershowitz.
Well, because he said he thinks that, no other crime that the death penalty is more deserving in. And I have to say, I think that I agree with the sentiment that death is just too good for this terrorist. He's young enough that having him serve a sentence in solitary confinement for the rest of his life, completely shut out from the outside world, living in a cell with nothing but the mirror that he seems so fond of, and nothing except a small toilet and small amounts of running water, and being served terrible food three times a day. The minimum calorie count allowed by federal law is the just punishment for him. To put him to death, which may not ever happen, which has only happened 3 times since the death penalty was reinstated in the United States, it's probably not going to happen anyway. Let him rot in a cell, for crying out loud, and he can think about himself for the rest of his life.
All right, well, he's going to be rotting in a cell for at least a good number of years while that appeals process does play out. Geoffrey Nathan, as always, good to talk to you.
Okay, man. Talk to you later.
All right, Geoffrey Nathan coming to us via Skype from Boston. Well, we're going to have a roundtable coming up right after this next commercial break. Another presidential hopeful finds himself in hot water over statements about the Iraq War. We've been talking about this. We'll talk about it some more. Why some accuse Marco Rubio of flip-flopping on that issue. That's in our Monday roundtable right after that. And up for discussion, a deadly biker brawl leads to nearly 200 arrests in Waco, Texas. Why police predicted there would be trouble and what they say they did to try and stop it. All that and much more coming up next on Newsmax Now.